When the federal government made the announcement about the timeline for the inquiry into missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, federal officials said that they couldn't grant the commissioners the extra 2 years they asked for because not all of the provinces were on board. Instead, the federal Minister for Crown Indigenous Relations announced that the inquiry would be getting a 6-month extension, and that means that their final report will have to be written by the end of next April. All of the commissioners say they're deeply disappointed.
We put a lot of work into our request for the 2-year extension. It was well analyzed, well thought out, fact-based, and of course it was very disappointing to have the government dismiss that.
Another one of the commissioners, Michelle Odette, has even insinuated that she could resign because she's so disappointed and she believes that the Canadian government is failing the victims and their families all over again. But not all of the family members are so dismayed. Ernie Cray is chief of the Cheam First Nation, and his sister Dawn Cray disappeared in the year 2000. Her DNA was later found on Robert Picton's farm. Cray says that he's very grateful that the federal government launched the inquiry in the first place. And he says even though it's been plagued by controversies and resignations, he's still very supportive of it, and he's glad to see that there is now a little extra time.
I also support the inquiry's call for additional funding and some additional time so they can complete this important work about the disappearances and deaths of Indigenous women coast to coast to coast.
As for how much additional money the inquiry will get, well, that's still unclear. Officials say a final figure is still being worked out, but it will not be the $50 million that the commissioners had asked for. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Vancouver.